So AI can write code. It can build entire apps. We're all seeing it happen. But there's this massive problem lurking right under the surface that every developer is starting to feel. Well, today we're going to look at a new open source framework that's trying to fix that for good. It's called the BMAD method.
All right, let me just ask you this straight up. Have you ever tried using an AI for a big coding project and just felt like you were wrestling with chaos? I mean, if you've built anything more than a simple script, you've probably hit that wall where it all just starts to fall apart.
And that chaos has a name: vibe coding. It's what happens when you're just throwing unstructured prompts at an AI. The workflow gets messy, the AI completely forgets the decision you made an hour ago, that's lost context, and your carefully planned architecture starts drifting off into strange places. You end up with absolutely zero documentation, and you're not even debugging code anymore, you're debugging a vibe. It's a total nightmare. But what if you could actually bring some real professional structure to all that chaos? Well, that's exactly the promise behind this new framework, the BMAD method. It's designed to be the structured solution we've all been waiting for. So what is BMAD really? Well, the name kind of says it all: Breakthrough Method for Agile AI-Driven Development. And the core idea here is brilliant. It takes the raw power of AI but forces it to work like a disciplined professional software team. We're not talking about one AI trying to do everything. We're talking about a whole team of specialized AI agents working together. And this slide just nails the difference. The old way, vibe coding, is like yelling, "Hey AI, build me an app," and just hoping for the best. The BMAD way is like having a professional blueprint and a construction crew. It forces you to analyze the idea, define the product, and architect the system before a single line of code gets written. That way, the context is always there. This is the philosophy at its heart: spec-driven, context-engineered development. In plain English, it just means you start with a solid plan and you actively manage the project's information at every single step. Nothing is left to a vibe. Okay, so how does this thing actually work? Well, the entire system is built around a super clear two-phase process, and it's all run by that team of AI agents we just talked about.
And here's your team. This is what makes it so different. It's not one AI, it's a whole crew. You've got an analyst that does the research, a product manager that writes up the requirements, an architect that designs the whole system, a scrum master to break down the work, a developer to write the code, and a QA engineer to check everything. It mimics a real high-functioning software team.
So the workflow is split right down the middle into two big phases. First, you've got agentic planning. Think of this as all the deep thinking, the strategy, the documentation. Then you move into phase two, context-engineered development. That's where the code actually gets built, but in a really controlled, disciplined way. And get this, in phase one, it's all about creating a paper trail. Before anyone writes any code, the AI team generates a professional project brief, a full-blown product requirements document, and super detailed architecture plans. All of this becomes the single source of truth for the entire project, so the AI can't get lost or forget things down the line. Okay, now we get to phase two, the fun part. The AI Scrum Master takes all that amazing documentation and chops it up into what they call hyper-detailed story files. You can think of these as perfect little mission packets for the developer AI. Each one has everything it needs for one specific task. So the developer AI builds it, the QA AI validates it, and you get this clean, repeatable, and totally verifiable loop. All right, the process is cool, for sure. But why does this actually matter? Well, it matters because BMAD is designed to tackle the three biggest, most painful problems in AI development today. That's right, three. Three fundamental issues that have been driving developers absolutely crazy when they try to build anything serious with AI. And here they are. First up, it solves context collapse. Because of that solid paper trail from phase one, the AI simply can't forget what it's supposed to be doing. Second, it stops architectural drift. The code is always checked against the original blueprint so it can't wander off. And third, my favorite, it completely fixes the zero documentation problem because it generates all of it. The PRDs, the architecture docs, you name it, automatically. That's a game changer. And when you put it all together, you can see why people are calling this a major turning point. It's about moving away from just chaotic, experimental prompting and towards something that feels a lot more like predictable, professional software engineering. So that's the theory, but what's it actually like to use this thing? Let's take a quick look at some of the features and what people are doing with it. BMAD also has some really cool power-ups under the hood. There's something called document sharding, which is a clever way to chop up huge documents so you can feed massive amounts of context to the AI without breaking it. There's a codebase flattener tool, which is amazing. It can take an existing project and basically turn it into a single file so the AI can analyze and refactor it. And you can even get expansion packs to add new specialists to your team, like a machine learning expert or a DevOps engineer. And you know what's wild? Getting started is ridiculously easy. As long as you have a recent version of Node.js, you just run one little command in your terminal. That's it. It hooks right into your IDE like VS Code, and you can kick off these massive, complex workflows with a simple / command.
And this isn't just theoretical. People are already using BMAD for some seriously heavy-duty tasks. We're talking about building entire applications from the ground up, debugging really complex systems, and even planning out huge enterprise-level architectures. Some folks are even using all that auto-generated documentation to help train their junior devs. How cool is that?
So BMAD basically offers this powerful, structured, and sane alternative to the absolute chaos of vibe coding. It brings all the discipline we've learned from decades of software development and applies it to the new world of AI, which really just leaves one last question. Is it time to stop debugging the vibe and maybe give this a shot on your next real project?